YB, man. Free YB.
Everyone needs to stay muted. Okay.
Free.
This story is only getting more intense, and the details will leave you completely shocked. A low-security prison has become the center of attention, and people cannot stop talking about what is really happening. Stay with me because this is about to take a wild turn. To understand everything, we need to go back to the day of the court sentencing. The courtroom was filled with serious faces when, out of nowhere, a young fan burst in, shouting, "Free NBA YoungBoy." The room went silent, and all eyes turned toward the unexpected guest. But what happened next was even more unbelievable. As the commotion settled, a young boy walked in, grinning like he knew something nobody else did. He did not look scared or nervous. Instead, he calmly signed a document, confirming he spoke English and had an 8th grade education. People in the courtroom were confused, but they had no idea what was about to happen. The judge did not waste any time. He started reading out the charges, and the weight of the situation became clear. On March 10, 2021, this young man had been arrested and charged with serious firearm offenses, possession of a weapon as a convicted felon, and carrying an unregistered handgun. But here's where things get even more complicated. These charges did not come from a violent act or a major crime. They were connected to a music video shoot. A woman from the neighborhood had called the police, saying a group was dancing on top of cars, waving guns, and blasting music. To some, it seemed like just another rap video. But was there something much deeper going on? When police arrived, they did not just shut down the music video, they treated it like a serious crime scene. Officers questioned everyone there, checking their IDs and looking for anything suspicious. What started as a simple music video shoot quickly turned into a full-blown investigation. Police found several firearms on the scene, and some of them were illegal. Because of this, arrests were made, and NBA YoungBoy was taken into custody. But here is the interesting part. NBA YoungBoy was not holding a gun in the video. He was simply in the background, rapping while others around him had weapons. So why was he arrested? Some believed he was being targeted because of his past. He had already faced legal trouble before, and law enforcement might have been watching him closely, waiting for an opportunity to bring him in. YoungBoy's legal team argued that he was not responsible for the weapons at the scene. They said he was an artist making a music video, not a criminal committing a crime. But prosecutors saw things differently. They claimed that YoungBoy was part of a group that regularly carried firearms and that he knew exactly what was happening in that video. The case became even more controversial when details about the police tip came out. The woman who reported the music video was never identified, and some fans started to question if the police were already watching YoungBoy and used the tip as an excuse to make an arrest. Some believed it was all a setup, while others thought it was just bad luck. While waiting for his court date, YoungBoy was placed under strict house arrest. He was forced to stay inside his home, only allowed to leave for legal meetings and medical appointments. For an artist known for his energetic performances and active lifestyle, this was a major change. He continued to make music from home, but it was clear that the situation was taking a toll on him. Even though YoungBoy was stuck inside, his legal team did not stop fighting for his release. They argued that he was unfairly arrested and that the evidence against him was weak. But prosecutors pushed back, saying YoungBoy was a danger to the community and should not be allowed to walk free. As the case continued, fans and industry figures started speaking out. Many believed YoungBoy was being treated unfairly because of his reputation and past mistakes. Others thought he needed to take responsibility for the company he kept. Some rappers showed support, while others stayed silent, not wanting to get involved in the legal drama. Then, a surprising twist happened. The court announced that YoungBoy could be released on bond, but under strict conditions. He had to pay a large amount of money, give up certain freedoms, and agree to wear an ankle monitor. While this was a small victory, it was clear that the fight was not over. The music video incident might have seemed small, but it had serious consequences. It was a reminder that, as a high-profile rapper, everything YoungBoy did was being watched. Whether it was bad luck, a setup, or just another legal battle, one thing was clear: NBA YoungBoy's troubles were far from over. When officers arrived, they immediately focused on the young boy, detaining him for holding firearms. But was this really about the weapons, or was there something bigger happening behind the scenes? Could his past be coming back to haunt him in a way nobody expected? The truth behind this case will leave you speechless.
Court, the body cam footage of the officer who put the cuffs on YoungBoy back in September during that music video,
This case is getting more intense, and the details will leave you shocked. When NBA YoungBoy was being arrested, he looked completely confused. He kept looking at the officer and said, "Big dog, man. What are you doing? Why are you putting these cuffs on me?" He kept calling the cop big dog, like he was trying to reason with him. "I did not do anything. You can search me. I have nothing on me." But the officer did not listen. He locked the cuffs and led him to the police car. This moment showed that YoungBoy truly believed he had done nothing wrong. He never thought the police would take footage from a music video and use it against him. But that was exactly what happened. The authorities said that since he was a convicted felon, holding a firearm in the video was a federal crime. They claimed he could face 3 to 5 years in prison. Things took an even bigger turn when the cameraman realized what was happening. He knew this was serious and quickly tried to erase the footage. He wanted to protect YoungBoy, but before he could delete anything, the police grabbed the camera. When they checked the video, everything changed. The footage was clear and showed exactly what the police needed. YoungBoy's lawyer tried to argue in court that the police had taken the camera illegally and that the footage should not be allowed. But the prosecutors did not back down. The video became the most important piece of evidence, turning the entire case against him. Was this really justice, or was NBA YoungBoy being set up to fail? The situation only got worse. YoungBoy lost his appeal with the federal court, which meant the prosecutors could now use the footage against him. He could still try to take the case to the Supreme Court, but the fight was only getting harder. At first, a lower court judge had ruled in YoungBoy's favor, saying the video was taken illegally and could not be used in the trial. But now, that decision had been overturned, putting him in an even worse situation. The big question now is, can he still fight back, or has the system already decided his fate? The case took a big turn when the government took it to the Fifth Circuit Court of Appeals. After reviewing everything, the court decided that the evidence, which was first removed, could now be used in court against NBA YoungBoy. This changed everything for him. Now, YoungBoy has a few choices. First, he can take the case to the Supreme Court and hope they change the decision. Many people believe he will try this. Second, he can try to make a deal with the government. He has already spent a long time locked up, almost a year in jail and another year on house arrest. His lawyers could argue that he has already served enough time and try to get a plea deal. The last option is to take the case to trial and fight the charges, hoping to win against the government again. As the judge spoke to YoungBoy, the courtroom became silent. Reporters quickly tried to capture the moment. The judge talked about YoungBoy's talent, but also warned him about the dangers of his choices. He looked at YoungBoy and said, "I have seen many young men and women lose their future because of bad decisions. I do not want that to happen to you. You have great talent, and I hope that after you finish your sentence, you will focus on your future. I hope you will be successful on federal probation and make the most of your life." After that, the sentencing was final. Later, YoungBoy's lawyer gave an update, confirming that he was sentenced to 23 months. But because of time already served in another case in Louisiana, he would be released much earlier. Once the paperwork was corrected, his release date was set for July 27th. Now, everyone is wondering, what will NBA YoungBoy do next? Will he turn his life around, or will trouble keep following him? With his release date getting closer, fans were excited. On March 3rd, Rich the Kid sat down for an interview with a professor, and they both talked about how NBA YoungBoy could be walking free in just a few days. But was this really confirmed, or was it just a rumor making people talk even more? Many in the hip-hop world had something to say. One person said, "Hip-hop is dying, man. We need YoungBoy to stay out of jail. We are waiting for his music." But just when it seemed like good news, a lawyer revealed that YoungBoy had another legal problem. He had missed a court date in another state, and now the FBI was involved. Agents waited outside his Louisiana mansion for hours, watching his every move. When he finally got into his car and drove off, they followed. As soon as the police sirens went on, YoungBoy pulled over. But before an officer could reach him, he suddenly hit the gas and sped off, leading them on a high-speed chase. Heavy traffic forced him to take side streets, making the situation even worse. When he saw that he was trapped, he jumped out of his car and ran. But there was a problem. He was wearing tight jeans, designer sneakers, and heavy chains. Running was not going to be easy. Police and K9 units were right behind him. He ran through a fan's backyard, and the surprised fan recorded everything as YoungBoy tried to escape. But it did not last long. The K9 units caught up with him, and within moments, the chase was over. As officers put him in handcuffs, YoungBoy said, "I do not have a statement. I do not want to be treated like this if I have not done anything wrong." But the judge was not going to be easy on him. He was charged with speeding, resisting arrest, and more. However, in a surprising twist, YoungBoy avoided jail time by paying a huge amount of money. He posted a $40,000 bond and put up $500,000 in cash. He also offered 2 properties worth over $1.5 million as part of the deal. The judge said he had to wear an ankle monitor, but he was not under house arrest. He was free to travel as long as he kept the monitor on. This was a huge moment. Even after all of this, YoungBoy had managed to stay out of jail. But now, people were asking, would he finally stay out of trouble, or was more drama waiting for him just around the corner? The judge in California had already decided that NBA YoungBoy could be released under certain conditions, so many people believed the Louisiana judge would do the same. Both judges were looking at the same case, and even though laws can be applied slightly differently in different states, a big change in the ruling would have been very unusual. People expected that when YoungBoy stood before the Louisiana judge, he would also be allowed to go free. Even though YoungBoy had a long criminal record and had been sentenced to 23 months for having a firearm, he was much luckier than most. Many other public figures in similar situations were given much harsher punishments. But instead of staying out of trouble, his time in jail seemed to push him even deeper into a dangerous path. YoungBoy had once been friendly with many rappers, but after his release, his attitude changed. He started picking fights, making diss tracks, and calling out some of the biggest names in the rap industry. After his high-speed chase and arrest, rapper Enli Choppa first showed support for him and even released a song called Free YoungBoy. But in a surprising turn, he later changed sides. DJ Academics added more drama to the situation by tweeting, "YoungBoy is on demon time right now." He is dropping another tape. Lil Reese, a rapper who is close to King Von, responded, "That is not demon time. He is just rapping like everybody else." At that moment, Enli Choppa made his choice clear and sided with Lil Reese. He called out YoungBoy for disrespecting rappers who had passed away and said, "I stand by that." Things got even worse after that. YoungBoy responded with aggressive lyrics, making strong threats. He rapped, "Your mother will be heartbroken when we send you to God for making statements and choosing sides." As the situation got more serious, Enli Choppa finally spoke up. He explained that his choice was not just about music, it was something personal. He said, "People say a lot of things about YoungBoy, but to me, he is a real stand-up guy. It is just sad that things have reached this point." Even DJ Vlad stepped in, interviewing Choppa about the growing tension. Choppa said he wanted to put an end to the problems with YoungBoy, but many fans wondered, was this really the end of the drama, or was it only the beginning of something bigger? At first, everything seemed like just entertainment. Even Enli Choppa said he was not taking it seriously. He said, "It is funny to me. It is just entertainment." The song was good, but that is all it was. Then, in a surprising move, Choppa announced that he would be joining the Breakfast Club. Was this his chance to clear things up, or was he about to create even more drama? During the interview, he had a message for NBA YoungBoy. He needs to be more careful. A lot of people look up to him, and he needs to set a better example. He should focus on his music and stay out of trouble. Even though the issue between Choppa and YoungBoy did not get worse, YoungBoy was not finished yet. This time, he went after Jada Youngin. At first, they had no problems. They even made a song together called Up With Me. Jada Youngin had nothing but respect for YoungBoy and said, "We will be making music together soon. I am a fan of his music, and when we work together, it is going to be big for our state." But everything changed when Jada Youngin accidentally posted an unreleased song on Instagram. YoungBoy was angry and commented, "Delete this now. I do not even know how you got my song. I do not play like that." It might have been a mistake, but Jada Youngin did not back down. He replied, "I am not taking disrespect from anyone. I stand on that." Things got worse when Jada Youngin released a diss track called 38K, which was aimed directly at YoungBoy. The song had personal shots, including one that made things even more serious. "You laughed at my post, but I was laughing when your baby mama was with me." Not long after, pictures started to spread of Jada Youngin with one of YoungBoy's baby mothers. This was no longer just about music, it had become personal. Then, out of nowhere, Jada Youngin was taken out at his own family home. Nobody knew who was behind it, but something strange made people start asking questions. Months before, YoungBoy had recorded a video that seemed to predict what would happen. Was it just a coincidence, or was there something more to the story?